Good morning. Heading off to the East Bridgewater shop this morning. I got to meet with Courtney, go over what happened this weekend and how the shops are doing. I got to look at replacing an air conditioner at the East Bridgewater shop. They did a really wild job installing it, so it's very stuck in place, and it's been there for quite a few years. So time to get that thing out of there and get a new one installed. I know I have beans getting delivered this morning, about 1,500 pounds worth, and I have to deliver some beans to the roaster to get roasted for the week. Let's see what else is going on. I have some plans that I want to get done in the garage. I have to do spark plugs on the Cayman, and I would like to give the garage a little sprucing up. I did a little organization a couple weeks ago, got rid of a ton of stuff. I got a new toolbox and got all my tools all organized. I didn't do a video for that because I thought it would be the most boring thing ever, watching me sort through tools for basically 2 days. All right, I'm at the East Bridgewater now. Let's see what I come up with later.
For resto, and it could just be like a random.
So every week we roast a few 100 pounds of coffee. I store all the big bags in my garage, and every week I have to move them there. They're around 150 pounds each. So today we're moving Guatemala and Ethiopia to the roastery and get them all roasted up. We have a delivery coming later today for about another 1,500 pounds. So this is part of what I got to do every week. Good thing I didn't go to the gym today. All right, let's head off to the roastery. Restoration Coffee started in 2017, opened our first location in 2018. When we first opened, we started using a local roaster. We really wanted to focus on getting our syrups right, getting our drinks right, really focusing on customer service and everything before focusing on roasting. 2019, we opened our first standalone location, and we ended up buying a small coffee roaster, and I watched every single video I could think of or find on YouTube to learn to roast coffee, and we started roasting from there. Since then, we've got a bigger roaster, and being able to control the roasting aspect has been very crucial for the success of our shops, I believe. Well, I got it out of the wall. It was siliconed in and expandable foamed in, and it looks like it's been in there for about 25 years. So this should be a disaster to pick up. Wah, wah, wah. All right, what's up? We're gonna do some spark plugs on the Cayman today. I've had the car for about 6,000 or 7,000 miles, and we're coming up on 30,000 miles on it. And I don't know service history on the car too much, and I want to just make sure that I keep up with it. We did the oil change last week, and I'm gonna do the spark plugs today. And I was a mechanic for a long time, so this shouldn't be terribly difficult, but knock on wood, should be good. First, we're gonna break the wheels loose, because we gotta take the wheels off. All right, jack the car up. I'm sure I'll get some comments on how I'm jacking this up. All right, the wheel out of the way. 2 T30s. All right. So I need T30, I believe. Take a T30 from here too. All right. So up next, I have to get that shield off right there. You can just about see where the ignition. You can see the ignition coil is right here. So we're gonna get the shield off, and then we'll get to the ignition coils. So I got that shield out of the way, and you can see the 2 ignition coils there. I really only needed to get the 2 T30s out of the shield so I can move it just out of the way enough. Now I'll back off those T30s also on the ignition coils and unplug it. So this is the ignition coil. Clip came right off the end here. Has an encapsulated nut, so it won't fall out or anything when you're trying to get it in or out. And then, so I'll get the other one out, and then I'll get the spark plugs out after that. All right, here's the second one. So you can see the 2 tubes there. Spark plugs right up in the top inside there. Almost impossible to get this on camera, but that's who they are. And I'll get my spark plug socket next, and we'll see what we can do. So these are, I believe, a 12 point. Not 100% sure, but I have a BMW spark plug socket that will work on this. This is a Hazit socket. 12120 is the part number. So it's a spark plug socket for like N55 BMWs. So we'll use that. I'm going to try a couple different things. I have some swivels. I have some extensions with swivels in them, and we'll see what the right combination is to get these things out of here. Yep. Extension and a swivel. Wow, those aren't even close to tight. I'll make sure I torque these when I put the new ones in, because that felt like it was loose. So that's where we're at. They don't look too bad, but we got new ones, so might as well put them in. They probably have 30,000 miles on them. Not bad. But I didn't like how loose they were. That was kind of scary. There we go. I don't like how loose those are. That's crazy. There you go. There's another one. All good. Alright, I'll have to look up the torque spec on those. But I'll get them in hand tight, and we'll torque them after. Go in by hand first. So I'm thinking of getting a new set of wheels. Apex sells some pretty cool looking wheels. I would like to go from a 20-inch to an 18 and like a fatter sidewall. Let me know what you think about that. Currently I'm on H&R drop springs, and I'd also like to potentially step up to like a coilover setup. In New England, it's not great for the threads on the coilovers because there's so much grime and sand and salt on the roads all the time. Even just on the underbody of this, I cleaned this out, I don't know, maybe a month ago when I did the drop springs. Isn't that crazy? So let me know your thoughts. I like just this drop springs because there's no adjustment. The car just works just the way it is. You don't have to worry about adjusting ride height or anything like that, but might be able to get a little better ride quality out of a coilover. But I'm just afraid of the adjusters freezing up and getting sand and salt in them. So let me know your thoughts on that one. So 24 foot-pounds or 32 newton meters. 24. It's not going to be super accurate because you're going to have to use an extension, but an extension and a swivel. So it's not going to be super accurate, but there's no way anyone else is torquing this straight on. Click. Always do 2 clicks. Yeah, let's get on the other one. Click, click. All right. Now we can put the coil packs back in and button this thing back up. In reverse. It's funny, I'm doing this with my Apple Watch on, and I always look at like YouTubers doing work on their own cars, and they have Rolexes on, like TJ Hunt, he's got a Rolex on, he's elbow deep in an engine bay. But that's baller status right there. I'll stick with my Apple Watch for now. All right, coil packs are back in. Gonna bolt the heat shield back on, and we're moving on to the other side. Look at this. That's just from driving around for the last couple weeks, because I cleared this all out when I put the drop springs in. That's why I question having coilovers. And I can torque those wheels. All right, 118 foot-pounds. Let's see. Click. So I was just about to not record the passenger side, or the right side, and because I thought it was going to be the same, but it is E10s, I believe, holding the shield on, versus on the other side it was T30s. So I don't know if that's supposed to be like that, or I don't know, who knows. But in the comments, let me know if that's correct or not. We'll see. All right, spark plugs are done. They didn't look terrible, but 30,000 miles and we'll get them done. Very limited tools needed. 19 millimeter. I did a non-scratch socket. Torque wrench for the wheels. Did a little breaker bar to get them loose. 3/8, a couple extensions. E10 on the passenger side and T30 on the driver's side. Which I thought was strange. I'll probably look it up later and see if that's normal or not. But yeah, let me know in the comments if that's normal. But for the time being, that seemed a little strange. And then the 12-point socket for the spark plugs. Pretty easy. It probably took me maybe 45 minutes with setting up recording and everything like that and getting all my tools together. Super easy. Who knows what they charge at the dealer. Pull the wheels off, couple bolts, get the shields out of the way, in and out. All right, let me know about the wheels. I can't afford the E88 BBSs, which I would love, but so looking at the mesh type wheels from Apex, I really like those a lot. Thinking going a little smaller, fatter sidewall, I think it will look really good. Give it a good ride too. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of the wheels. If you have any questions on doing spark plugs on yours, let me know. Be more than happy to help. All right, catch you later.